when traditional alarms came into the market quite a number of years ago, law enforcement really did not have the opportunity to collaborate. And with video alarms, law enforcement has been asked to the table to help develop best practices, which I think is going to be extremely important as we work together. You see, law enforcement costs have risen so much over the years that we can just no longer afford to put a police officer on every corner. And one of the ways that we're maximizing our resources is by working with the alarm industry with video alarms. It's truly, in my opinion, going to be a force multiplier. In May, I will have 30 years in law enforcement, and I think this is probably the single most beneficial development of technology that I've seen. I think it's important that as we move forward, both the alarm industry and law enforcement, that we continue to help educate our business owners and our residents on the difference between surveillance and video alarms. Surveillance has a very useful place. Video alarms, I believe, have an even more useful place from our perspective, and I'll give you an example in a moment. But we really need to educate our consumers, because I'm still finding that many of our potential customers do not know the difference. So my department, like many others, is really focused on community policing. We want to partner with our citizens and business owners and school districts and every partner that we can identify to work with, because everyone is concerned about public safety. So the video alarms is an excellent way to highlight that community policing. We're working with our citizens, our business owners, our security providers, and our insurance companies, and we're really working towards fewer false alarms, more arrest, and the reduction of property loss and crime and the deterrence of crime. And I want to talk a minute about the ultimate deterrent being arrests. We know that alarms have a useful purpose already, the traditional alarms, because if someone's home has an alarm installed, mine included, I know that that's going to minimize property loss. It may deter a break-in, but I certainly know it's going to minimize property loss. As video alarms become more and more prevalent, we're going to find that the criminal element is going to start educating themselves as to what is a video alarm. For example, we had a cell tower the other day where the bad guy walked up to the camera, casually just turned it downward, and they went about stealing copper, him and the other suspect. He thought that was just a surveillance video. Because it was a video alarm, and because my department in Grand Prairie, Texas, offers a higher priority and a quicker response to video alarms, my officers were there within 2 minutes, caught them both inside, and arrested both of them. That's a perfect example, whereas that was surveillance or even a traditional alarm, the response would have been longer, and they may very well have fled prior to our arrival. So what's going to happen is not only do we make 2 arrests there, but those bad guys are going to figure out that that was a video alarm, and that's how they got caught, and they're going to start talking to their friends, because they communicate in the criminal element just like we do in our professions and our lives. So that really is, at the end of the day, if we have fewer false alarms and we have a higher number of apprehensions, that's going to serve as a exponentially much higher deterrent. From a public safety perspective, I always advocate that anybody equips their home or business with any type of security they can afford. I will never criticize or tell someone not to spend time and money on security as best they can, but the reality is, from a law enforcement perspective, we prefer the professional monitoring at central stations to the video alarms. The do-it-yourself systems, where the homeowner, for example, is notified by an app that his camera has been activated, he's going to have to still call us. We're going to go through the process. We're not going to be able, because of the volume, to put those do-it-yourself systems into a higher priority. That's going to come in and be handled like any other 911 call, because we just don't have the capacity to handle all of the do-it-yourself systems as a best practice video alarm. That's another reason we're working with the alarm company. We want to set standards and best practices and work through professional central stations to make sure that everybody is sending us the proper video in the proper portal, in the proper format, So that way, when I'm dispatching my officers at a higher level, I have the assurance to know that that's valid information that I'm receiving through professionals. Now, not every city offers a higher response to video alarms, but my belief is as the technology grows, that is a local issue, but I believe as the technology grows, I think more and more cities may be offering that level of service. And you know, I applaud the alarm industry for inviting us to the table. We're going to continue to work with all of the alarm industry to try to make sure that we jointly agree upon these best practices and protocols. You all as alarm companies and installers are a very important piece of this, both in your education to our public, and one of the things that we really suggest is when you install or sell a video alarm, it's very important that that homeowner or business contacts their local police department and advises them that they have a video alarm. That will help them ascertain, number one, if they have a higher response level, but also to make sure that the central station for that alarm also contacts the police department. For example, if you're a central station that covers my city, you have a proper and formalized protocol to send that video to us in our PSAP through a dedicated avenue, so we're getting real-time information. As my officers are en route to that video alarm call, they can already be advised as to what the suspects or the potential suspects look like, maybe even a vehicle, and that's a much higher level of officer safety than we currently have with traditional alarms. So we do not plan to change our response to traditional alarms at all. We plan to continue to respond to them as we always have. We're excited about this higher level of response for video alarms. Again, in Grand Prairie, it's already led to several apprehensions for our city. So me and other police professionals throughout the country will continue to work toward that goal at the end of the day of minimizing property loss, better protecting our citizens and business owners. And again, I'll just end with my sincere appreciation to each of you all for being advocates for law enforcement and helping us work together towards enhanced public safety. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.